After reviewing hundreds of products, here are our favorite pet products, mostly towards cats, but dogs can definitely use a lot of these too, that we actually use and love around our home. First up is this pet bed that we have right here. It has silicone suction cups so it can actually stick to the window. Our cat loves to be near windows and look out windows, so it's actually perfect for her because you can hang it from these two right here up there, and then you got these two down here to kind of hold it all in place. And then she just sits up here, lays up here, sleeps up here like it's her bed, and she can easily look out the window to whatever we have outside essentially. Next up are gonna be the pet water fountain and the pet food combined. We use both of these consistently, and they're really, really nice for when we actually like leave the house for like a quick day trip or something overnight. You know, we're going camping for a night, anything like that. We know that she has water that's constantly flowing and food that's constantly feeding her. So let's dive into the features of each of these. So first off is the pet water fountain. Now this one is just a couple pieces to assemble. The cool part about this one is it does plug in through the back, and then you have a button to turn it on and off, but the water itself is separated from the cord here, so there's no worries about water near electricity. You can basically pick up this water bowl right here, and you can see it's completely separated from the actual electricity there. It's just on its own, but then once you put it back in here, it does actually power up. So with this also, water stores both in this area right here, so she can drink out of it kind of like a sink or a bathtub that she really likes to drink out of. And then over here, it actually has water flowing too, so it's kind of like a waterfall that she can drink from. And the assembly of this is super easy too. It's basically this piece on the top right here with that water filter on the bottom that stores inside of the water that you can easily refill when you need to. And this just literally sits on top of it right here, and that's how the water actually goes and flows. The water fountain is also connected to an app, so it tells you exactly how much water your pet drinks, when they drink water, and gives you patterns day over day, week over week, so you can kind of see, you know, how much they're drinking compared to the previous week, make sure that they're drinking the right amount of water. And it also tells you when you need to replace that filter inside of there. It gives you a warning of when it's ready to be replaced. And then next up is this automatic feeder that I was talking about. This one is really easy to open up and refill with food. It's just got this lock on the top right there that you turn, refill the food inside of there, and then you can lock it shut so that your pet can't actually get inside of it. You can see it can't open it now. There's a couple of buttons on here, but honestly, we set up everything to be super automatic, so you can manually feed through this. You can connect to the Wi-Fi through this, which you'll have to do the first time you set it up because it does connect to an app as well. So in the actual app right here, I'll manually feed so that you can hear kind of what it does when we feed her, or that sound that plays each time. But before I do that and have her run over here, I'll show you that in here we have our schedule for her. So you can see all of our feeding times. You can choose any amount of times per day, I think up to 30. You can choose the number of portions. We have it set at 2 portions per feeding, but you can do, again, all the way up to I think 15 or 30 portions. This is enough for a small cat right here. And then the app also tells you every single time that she gets fed as well. So if you're not home, you can simply open the app and double check and make sure that she was actually fed when she was supposed to be, as you can see through all these timings. And now I'm gonna click that manual feed button. You'll hear the sound that plays, which I pre-recorded, and it plays every single time to actually bring her over. You can manually feed at any time or just use those schedule settings. So here goes the manual feed, and I'll choose just one portion. You can choose as many portions as you want for the manual feeding.
It's time for food. Kit Kat, it's time for food.
And you can see she is immediately here, ready to eat that food that comes right out of there. It's also battery operated on her food right here. So even though it does plug in, and that's why the blue light is on when it's plugged in here, it's running off of electricity. In case our power goes out, there's batteries that are in the bottom. So if there's no power, she's still going to get fed. We don't have to worry about that unless the batteries, of course, die also, which we'll have to keep an eye on. Next up right here is gonna be one of her beds. Now this is her little couch bed that's also a scratcher. Our cat loves scratcher toys, and so having a bed where she can also have it as a scratcher is a huge win for her. She spends a lot of her time on this bed right here. You can see it's kind of this scratchy material, and also plenty of room for her to lay down, sleep on this. She loves to like put her head on these armrests right here and actually sleep on those. It's not too big, it's kind of perfect cat size right here. Super cute, and one of her favorite beds. Right in time, she is here just to be on her sofa bed, scratching away at it. Probably gonna take a nap on this as I leave her alone. Next up is another one of her favorite beds right here. It's a little bit of a different one because this one's obviously more closed off. It kind of looks like her own house, so we do like to call it Kit Kat's house right here. This one is great because, you know, it's nice and dark on the inside, easy for her to sleep. No light or anything like that gets in the way. It's super soft on the bottom, and it's nice and spacious in the side in the inside there as well. It can easily fit another cat. And then the other cool thing about this one is it does actually plug in also. So you'll kind of see this hose that runs out of it right here. this connects and plugs into the wall, and when it's plugged in, it'll actually heat the bottom of the bed inside of there, so that bottom part gets a little bit warm. Nothing like hot to the touch or anything like that, but definitely, you know, kind of like a heated blanket in a sense for her, and she absolutely loves sleeping on the heated bottom of this bed right here. Next up is an area we call Kit Kat Corner in our house. It has a bunch of her little favorite things that we like to have for her. So starting off with this little plaque right here, it is a cute little cat plaque. You can go ahead and read this. Next up, we've got these jars. So inside of the jars, we have her favorite treats. These jars are super convenient because the top of them has a super wide mouth, so it's easy to pour things into them, and they seal nice and airtight as well, so super sealed off. We also have treats that'll help bad breath, super important for pets in here. Her favorite type of treat are these little squeeze ups right here. They're essentially like cat popsicles, also stored in these little treat jars. They're actually the perfect size for the jars. It's quite satisfying how they are right to the top of that lid right there and seal on perfectly. And also on the ground right by our corner here is this little tool, this scratching toy right here that we put around the corner. So it basically loops right around the corner of any corner that you have, and it's nice and honestly pretty sharp right here, but it's perfect for her. She loves to scratch her head on this thing right here, or her body or anything, so it's just a nice little addition we've got in her corner down here. And next up, we have these de-shedding gloves right here. These are awesome because of how easy they are to use and how much she actually likes when we use them as well. So basically, these have little bristles on them right here, so as you're petting your cat, those bristles are going to catch all of the hair right off of it, and then it's easy to just kind of get most of that hair off of the gloves once you finish using them. You can use a little bit of water. It's actually suggested by the product itself to use water when you're brushing. However, our cat hates water touching her, and I found that they work just as well without water, so I don't use them. So I'll put these on my hands and show you how they work on her. It has probably been about a week or so since we last brushed her, so I'm guessing there's going to be a good amount of cat hair, but let's see. She is in perfect position to actually do this brushing right now. Look at that. She's all set up and kind of wants to be brushed in a sense. They're almost a little bit aggressive with how small she is. She gets moved around a little bit, but I'll just use one of them here and get a good brushing through all of her. And she's even turning for me to get kind of her belly rubbed as well. And here's the result after, that was probably only about 30 seconds of brushing her. Look how much hair is now on that glove. It's crazy how much comes off, and I'll show you guys getting it off the glove as well. So basically, I like to just run my fingers down it and kind of push it upwards, gather it all at the same time. You can get most of it off there pretty easily, and then kind of combine it together. There you go. That's all of the hair that I've got off of her in just about 30 seconds of brushing her there with just one of the gloves. Usually I use both too, but she just wanted one of them today. So that is how easy these are to use, and then you can just reuse them over and over again. And next up is going to be this pet hair roller. So in case you don't use those gloves to get all the hair off, or even if you do, we all know there's probably going to be more pet hair. This is a really, really easy pet hair roller to use. Basically just roll it on any surface that you want, and it'll get all of that pet hair right off for you. Super, super easy to use. You can go back and forth as well. So I'll show you it on our beanbag. She loves to lay on this beanbag as one of her beds. So let's get rolling with this and see if we can get all of that hair off pretty easily. So I just finished rolling for maybe 20 seconds on this beanbag right here. It is one of her favorite places to lay, so there's a good amount of hair. We can just see on the front here, it's not too dirty still, so this could be used quite a bit more before fully emptying it out. But the hair does go through to the back. You click this button on the side right here to actually open that up. And some flung out as I wasn't too careful, but you can see how much hair actually got collected inside of there in just that 20 seconds. Easy to grab it all too and then throw it away. And next up is gonna be her automatic litter box. This is another one that's really great when we're not home, and it just makes it really easy on a daily basis. Rather than having to scoop up after her after she goes to the bathroom, manually take it out every time, this litter box quite literally does everything for you. So with this one right here, you basically just pour litter on the inside, and it does have guides for the amount of litter that you're supposed to pour in there. And then the only thing you're gonna have to do is make sure that stays filled, and then take this out, which I'll get to in just a second. Basically how this works is there are sensors on the top of the litter box right here. So when the cat jumps into it, those sensors go off and the litter box knows that she's in it. It'll actually turn into a red color on the top as well. And then once 15 minutes have passed and there's no weight on the inside from a cat, there's no sensors going off, that's going to change to a blue color, and it's actually going to automatically spin the litter box. So usually this will happen automatically, but I will manually trigger it just to show you guys. So this is exactly what's going to happen. That litter box is going to start rotating, and then that grate that you see on the kind of left hand side right over here is going to be filled with all of the smooth litter, the litter that hasn't clumped from our cat going to the bathroom. It's going to be stored kind of in a pouch under that grate right there. And then of course, anything that doesn't fit in that grate is not going to be stored in there, and instead it's going to keep flowing all the way around, as you'll see in just a minute. And instead it'll flow all the way down into that hole that you're seeing inside of there, which funnels into, again, the trash in the bottom, which I'll show you in just a second. But first, you're seeing that litter flow into that grate right there. You can imagine if there was something that wouldn't fit in there, it would still be inside of the litter box. Of course, that's not the case right now because I manually triggered it, but then it would flow into that trash that you're seeing on the bottom right there. And then the litter box is basically just going to, reset itself, spin back the other way, put all the litter back inside where it was, and reset to its normal position right after it gets to that spot right there. And then once this trash starts to fill up, it actually connects to an app as well. It's going to tell you how full the trash is actually getting so that you can know when you want to clean it out. But you'll just pull it out just like this. It's already got lined with that trash inside of there. You'll essentially just take this, throw it away, and reline it with a new trash bag, put this back into there, and the app will reset because it just bases it off of the weight inside of there. It'll know that it's now empty again. The app also tells you every time she goes to the bathroom, you'll get a notification so you can make sure she's got a good schedule, that she's going to the bathroom, that she's not peeing all around the house, anything like that. And then last up, we have this mat under the litter robot right here, which basically is going to collect all of the litter that she hits out of her litter box. Now, no matter how big a litter box, cats are always going to spray litter out of it. They're going to kick litter out of it as they're cleaning up after themselves, as they're getting adjusted in position, whatever it is. So this mat right here collects all of the litter. The cool thing about the mat is it's kind of double layered. So on the top, you're not really seeing too much of the litter itself because there are little holes inside of here with that double layer. And the litter actually just kind of falls on the inside into here. So it collects inside of there. So it's not visible. If you walk on it, you're not going to feel it, but it collects all of that litter rather than being on your carpet or anywhere else. So that's all of our favorite cat products that we use around our house to make her life a little bit better. If you guys want any of them, they're all in the description down below. Comment down below also and let me know which one's your favorite, which ones you want for your cat or dog or whatever pet you have. And make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.
Say bye.